Hey guys, today is August 30th, 2023. It has been 1 year since we launched martinmoney.com. So today I kind of want to review what we've done in the last year. I'll try to keep it brief, but there's a lot of thoughts that I've got. You're getting total laid back, rough looking Kurt. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold, which I don't know if you can tell or not. I didn't shave this morning. I threw on a t-shirt. Just recording this raw. This is kind of more behind the scenes, less pretty than the stuff we put on YouTube normally anyway. But I want to go through things I've learned in the last year. I could reminisce on a lot of stuff, but I really like to focus this more so it's useful to people who might do this in the future, particularly in the finance space, because it's a bloodbath. It's hard to get going there. So I'll start out with a few things that were more negative. Tough lessons to learn, and then several things that were positive. So I'll call it things we did wrong and things we did right. All right, so the first thing I did wrong was I didn't niche down enough. I heard the phrase niche down incessantly. I mean, it was like every single blogger out there that I watched on YouTube, that I read their blogs about doing this kind of stuff, their emphasis was niche down, niche down, niche down. And I thought in finance I had done that because I'd started by writing the Next Dollar Roadmap, which really covers everything from, debt all the way to financial independence, which is everything. That's not exactly niching down. But I found that I really enjoyed writing posts about investing, particularly tax-advantaged accounts like Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, and 401ks, all that kind of stuff. So that's really where I was directing my focus. And I thought that was a niche. I thought my niche was investing in tax-advantaged accounts. And it's still such a broad topic. And I didn't realize that. And frankly, I didn't really stick to it very well. At first, I wrote a lot about what I wanted to write about. And I thought a lot of what I needed to do was set some baseline topics that you could refer back to. So I wrote things like, what is a 401k? What is an IRA? What is a 529? What is an HSA? What is a bond? What is a stock? What are T-bills and how do you use those? These things I could refer back to in posts that would kind of help lay the groundwork for another post I was explaining. So if I were giving advice now, I would explain niching down as ask yourself within a topic, what are the subcategories within that topic that you really like. Pick one that you really, really like most. Then in that subcategory, what are the subcategories within it? Delineate it down. Keep going and distill it as elemental and basic as you possibly can, and then start writing about that. When you're at the bottom and you go, okay, I cannot break this down anymore. This is going to be a stupid, simple, basic post about a very, very definitive, small topic. You've probably finally gotten there. You cannot niche down enough. The internet is full, okay? Every topic has been covered. All right, that's not exactly true, but for the most part, what you're writing about probably has been talked about before. If you don't establish some expertise in a very, very granular and fine space, then search engine algorithms are going to look at you and go, how are you any different than everybody else that's been writing about this? You need to really pound that topic out, flesh it out, and cover everything about it before you move in other topics. And for us, I didn't do that until probably 8 months in, and our site traffic was non-existent basically, except for friends and family and social media stuff until we really started focusing on Roth accounts in particular, Roth IRAs, characteristics of Roths. That's really where we started to see some growth, and we're still not a big site. I mean, I'm 1 year in, and I'm disappointed in where we're at, frankly, but the last few months have been very encouraging because the search engine results are actually starting to pick up. So niche down, niche some more, niche till it hurts, niche until you cannot possibly niche anymore. All right, second dumb thing I did is keyword stuffing. Now, I didn't know I was keyword stuffing, but I downloaded a plugin when we did our website called Rank Math, and I'm not here to throw stones at them. It's a really helpful, I think, SEO program. Kind of helps you learn what the algorithms are looking for, how your site is ranked on basic different things, but they give you a score. It's like a 0 to 100, how well your site will do in SEO based on how you've written a post or arranged a page or whatever. So I would try to game that score and get it above 80. And I thought if I can get it above 80 or 85, or 85 would have been a really good one for me, then Google's going to love the post, right? And one of the key ways I found to improve that score was to use the keyword a lot. Use it in the title, use it in headings, use it in the body, use it with pictures, use it in the little snippet that you write about your post that might show up on the internet. All those places. If you can get that keyword phrase in as many of those places as you can, your score goes up. So the shorter the phrase, the easier it is to put in there. So if I wrote a post about IRAs, and IRA was my keyword, IRA would show up scores of times, and my rank math score would be really high. Well, as it turns out, the algorithm in Google does not appreciate keyword stuffing, and I paid a penalty for that. I think that's why our site was indexed and unindexed and indexed and unindexed. I think we basically got put in timeout because we were a site that I think it got flagged for trying to trick the system a bit. And I don't know that for sure because Google doesn't call you and say, hey, what are you doing? They just leave you off the internet and don't give you any exposure. So when we changed that, when I went back through and wrote long form keywords, our performance picked up a lot better. So don't do that. Write long keywords. Don't go through your post trying to find ways to stick it in there. Just write it. Just write it and let come what may. Just do that. Okay. All right. Third thing is my expectations were too high. I really thought my goal, frankly, after 4 months, we started end of last August. So I had September, October, November, December. I expected at the end of that 4 months to have 1,000 page views per month and to start to be monetized. And my goal was to make about $100 by the end of that year. Here we are a year later. We did have a month where we almost hit 1,000 page views back in January. That was when we came out and said, hey, everybody, we started a blog. Go check us out. And all our friends and family rushed and kind of went through it, looked at it, and then they went away because they basically covered it all. And they're coming back frequently, but it's not like the same rush that we had at first. But we've never hit 1,000 page views, and we've not monetized, and we've still not made 1 red cent on the website, and that's fine. But it's not what I expected. I expected now I've got 123 posts on the site. We're launching a YouTube channel. Again, my monetary cost and investment is relatively low, but we haven't monetized. We don't have a basis for monetizing because there's not enough readership, viewership to do that. So we're still in a growth phase. 1 year in, and that's disappointing. Now, if you're out there wondering, like, okay, Kurt, why are you doing this then? Part of what I'll say is one, I'm doing it because it's not really about the monetization. I have a job, we have income, we're okay. If I don't make any money on this, it's not going to hurt. But I would like to see it after all the time we've put into it, but it's not like I'm counting on it. The second thing is, personal finance is a very difficult category to break into. It's classified as your money, your life, YMYL, and basically that just means because you're talking about people's money or their health or some critical category that could be catastrophically important to someone, the degree of trust that you have to build is just much higher than if you're writing a post, say, about, I don't know, medieval door hinges or something. It's because you're writing things about taxes and investments, and people might actually, read something you write and then alter their behavior in a way that aligns with something you've written. Google, Bing, all the search engines, they try to protect their readership by only putting out information that they know is trustworthy, and they don't know me. Quite frankly, there's got to be some parameters in place, and a lot of that is time. A lot of that is like backlinks, cross-links from other websites. It's readership. It's people coming to the site. And so you can see that when the hurdles are set that much higher, how much harder it is to get going. And frankly, we're just in a category that's hard. But that's okay. This is part of it. So that's part of it. The other part is just me doing a lot of stupid stuff. But anyway, so let's talk now about the good things I did, some things I did right. All right, first thing I did right was I just started. There is a real feeling of imposter syndrome when you start something like this. For me, it was more around the technology piece. I still struggle with that. I'm not a computer whiz. I do know numbers. I know finance, and I know that well. I have a lot of confidence in that area. But in terms of putting it into a format that's, a website and videos and things like that, that has been a tremendous learning curve for me. So I think the biggest thing I did was I just trudged forward. And every time I ran into something that was difficult or challenging or I didn't understand, I took the time to learn it and conquered it before I moved forward. And I know so much more now about that stuff than I did a year ago, and there's still more to learn, but I was undeterred. I was determined to move forward. So if you are out there and you think, hey, I've got an idea, I want to try it, but I'm afraid it's not going to go well, I'm afraid people are going to think I'm an idiot or people aren't going to like it, don't let that stop you. Have the courage to move forward. Or if you're afraid of the unknown, like you just don't know what you don't know, well, the best and quickest way to find out is probably just to begin. So I would encourage you, just get going. I'm glad I did. I have no regrets. The second thing I did right was begin playing with YouTube. I always thought from the beginning that video honestly would probably be the direction we would move, not primarily, but at least balance it with the website. It just made sense if you're writing posts about a topic like, health savings accounts. If you've already written and done the research and it's all there, really you're just adding, a video component and recording it and talking about it. And it's a little more complex than that, but still it just made sense to me. So I knew that I needed to learn a lot about YouTube. And again, like back to my first point, I just started. I decided I needed to begin recording something. To begin getting my feet wet, begin learning how to record video, how to set it up, what equipment I needed, all that kind of stuff. So these blog updates were huge. They're not good. They're not pretty. The early ones, there's a couple I look back and I'm just like, man, it's just rough. I don't know what to say about it. But not that this one's going to be that pleasant with cheap lighting and my beard going on, but I'm glad I began, because coming into the summer when I really started to focus on YouTube, I had a lot of the early hurdles and learning pieces that you would hit if you were trying to make your real videos. I had kind of already run through a lot of that stuff, if you will. So while my first videos still aren't great for the YouTube channel, and you'll know those will stand out because they're just not as good as the stuff I've been shooting lately. Getting into the YouTube stuff, starting to record videos, starting to learn about editing, all that stuff has been really helpful in getting that going when I did start it. All right, item number 3 is I used technology where I could, and I did it without really investing much money at all. The website was really inexpensive to get going. I think I spent like $80 initially just to get it launched and started, and half of that, a little over half of that, was spent on Elementor Pro, which is basically web design software. It's tons of shortcuts for publishing and building a blog or website. The technology tools I've used, I talked about Elementor, I talked about Rank Math already, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend unless you need it for like it's good because it generates a site map in, is it X, I can't remember. There's a certain type of sitemap file that you need that it creates for you for free, which is a great benefit. And it also kind of teaches you how to write things for SEO. There's also NitroPack that speeds up the website. It was free. GIMP, which is graphic design software, was free. I've already talked about DaVinci Resolve, which was and still is amazing. That will be the first software I pay full price for whenever I have a buck or two to rub together. From doing this website and video channel on YouTube. It's just been incredible. I cannot believe how much you get with the free version of DaVinci. It's awesome. OBS is a software for recording like screenshots and things like that from your computer. also record video like this from your laptop and put it like picture in picture kind of thing. It's really kind of neat, and it was free as well. And then there's online resources like Pixabay, Pexels, Cover, Unsplash. A lot of these places have free photos and videos you can use as clips in video or on your website for like a blog post. While not ideal, quite frankly, it saves a ton of time. And eventually I'll probably pay for that kind of service if the site supports it. But right now those are all free and very useful as well. All right, thing I did right, number 4, was I picked a topic I enjoy. I talked about kind of the headwinds you face in personal finance blogging. It's been tough, quite frankly, but I really still enjoy the topic. I enjoy learning about it. I enjoy reading about it. I enjoy researching it. I enjoy writing about it. I enjoy talking about it with people. I enjoy talking about it in videos. So I think without that, I'd really be burnt out on all this. I really would just be sick of it, quite frankly. So I'm glad I didn't pick a topic like animal husbandry or chia pet maintenance or something like that I just don't care about, because it would have been a real drudgery. But anyway, so if you do this, there's a lot of people that talk about follow your heart and do something you're passionate about. I don't know about that. You'll have to evaluate whether your passion is actually something that makes sense to put, on a website or something like that. But definitely do something that you're interested in, because it's really important in terms of keeping your energy and focus up. All right, I want to wrap up by just talking about website traffic. I've got all the numbers here. I'd rather refer to them because I can't really remember them. I talked a little bit about this at the beginning. Basically, the first 4 months, we didn't have any traffic. I mean, the only visits we got were from pings from websites we had linked, or search engines or computers, bots and stuff. And like, we would get visits from China, Malaysia, India, Nigeria, and you're going like, okay, I'm waiting for a scam to come through with this, because there weren't a lot of Americans visiting the website. And that really changed in January when we told our friends and family. We almost hit 1,000 page views, and that I thought was the oomph we needed, like that little shot of caffeine or whatever that was really going to get the site going. But it came back down. Those people checked out the site, they went through it. There wasn't a lot there. Frankly, in January we only probably had 40 posts or so, and a third of those were the Next Dollar Roadmap. And people click through that, but once you're done, I mean, you're done, right? So we kept building from there. Traffic went back down. We paid our penalty for keyword stuffing and all that, and we're just now getting, I think, traction. So I really think we got started, if you will, in May of this year. That's really when we began to see growth. So in August, we had a little over 200 page views, which is minuscule. I don't know how to I can't overstate that. It's tiny. When you consider how many millions of people there are out there reading just personal finance topics, 200 page views a month is small. It's really small. And to have 123 posts now live on the site and only have that for your page views it's little. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's bad. That's like, if you're talking about page views per number of posts on a site, it's got to be like bottom 10% on all the World Wide Web. I mean, it's just tough. So that's the reality of where we're at after a year. I'm going to give this at least another good year and talk about it more then. I still am kind of an open book. I know I'm a Christian. I feel like the Lord has put this passion in me to pursue personal finance as a topic. And I don't know what God's really leading me to do in that, but that's really the basis of how I feel about what I'm doing, is that this is something I was sort of made to do, or feel led to do, or called to do, if you can understand that. So I'm soldiering on. We'll do another year and evaluate then. If after 2 years things are just like this, I got to start to ask, is this really worth the time and effort? I mean, if it's one thing if it leads to other opportunities like teaching or helping people, but quite frankly, if it's not, I don't know that it's worth it. I'll just have to be honest with myself when that time comes. But for now, we're going to trudge forward. Speaking of the year ahead, I think my goals primarily or to get in a good rhythm with the balance with the website and the YouTube channel, where I can basically keep that ball rolling without too much stress or time commitment. The other is I got to promote the site. I need to start writing guest posts, look to get on podcasts. There are a lot of people out there that do this, and there's a lot of value in interacting with those folks. I might go to a conference in October called FinCon. It is just for people like me who are doing websites, and you're talking about everything from first timers, newbies like me, all the way up to people who run Investopedia and Penny Hoarder and gigantic personal finance websites and media outlets, if you will. I'm also going to probably move forward with setting up a registered investment advisory firm. For those of you who remember, I took the Series 65 exam back in July and passed it, which means I have 2 years to either work for a registered investment advisor, which I'm not going to do, or set up my own, and I probably will do the latter. I don't know that I'll actually advise any clients, but I don't know. It's just kind of another thing. I felt led to do it, and we'll just see what it leads to. I don't know, but that'll be something else I'm working on, and you'll probably see some posts around that on the website as well. All right, so wrapping up, it's been a great year. Things have not gone as I expected, but I'm happy. I'm really content with where we are. I'm proud of the product we've put together, the website, the YouTube channel, all that. It's been fun. I think the biggest thing is it's been challenging. So mentally, it's been stimulating, and it's also been a big learning experience for me. I've learned so much, not just about finance, but so much about web design and YouTube channels and videos and software and all the things we've had to kind of play with as we've built all this. So I want to thank you all for your interest. I want to thank you all for your comments, for your encouragement. So grateful for it, really. There's a lot of fear. I can remember literally the night I hit the launch button on the website, like that pounding feeling in your chest. I could hear my heartbeat because I was like, "Is this really what you want to do?" And it was okay. It turned out fine. And looking back, I'm glad I did. I would provide encouragement to myself if I could go back and do that. But I'm thankful that I got it going. I'm thankful for all of you, and we'll see where things go from here, I guess. So thanks a lot. God bless. Take care.